I think both songs speak for themselves. And I think I started with By All Means Necessary on the last one, correct? So we're going to go with Criminal Minded on this one. Let's go ahead and start out with The Bridge Is Over. The song all Queens people love to hate, but we love it.
I don't trust anybody that doesn't know this song. I'm dead serious.
That piano is legendary.
Legendary.
That's it. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. Bye-bye. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. Hey, hey, hey. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. Bye-bye. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. You see me coming in the dance with the slipper sensei. Down with the sound called BDP. If you want to join the crew, well, you must see me. You can't sound like Shan or the one Marley. Because Shan and Marley Marley, my rhyming like the gay. Picking up the mic, man, them don't know what to say. Saying hip-hop started out in Queensbridge. Saying lines like that, man, you know them countless. So tell them again, me come to tell them again. Tell them again, me come to tell them again. Tell them again, me come to tell them again. Tell them again, me come to tell them.
That's a great place to stop right there, the way the beat.
Keep on taking.
No, the beat settles right now. No, I have the microphone. So I have the microphone, sir. This is what the beat stops right there.
No, sir.
You playing that out of Serato?
Naughty day.
Yo.
Off of Spotify, sir. Spotify.
Killed that
That
song.
song, man.
A classic jam again. If you're from Queens, you hate it, but you love it. The definition of it exists right there. It's a classic song. You can never negate those classic piano keys, classic drums, the reggae vibe. KRS-One was a beast. He destroyed his opponent. Long story short.
That's when Shan said he ain't want no more.
So with that being said, what could he do to top that on the second project that we all know is By All Means Necessary? So it's only right that he had to prove that by dropping I'm Still Number One.
TJ Doc, you know he's down with us. D Square, he's down with us. Keyboard Money Mike is down with us. ICU, you know he's down with us. D Nice and Mick Buddha down with us. Miss Melody, she's down with us. Just Ice and DMX, they're down with us. My manager Mo, he's down with us. Castle D, boys, down with us. DJ Red Alert, he's down with us. RoboCop, boys, down with us. Making funky music is a must. I'm number one.
First verse is not my shout out, but it's fire as hell.
It's still fire. My shout out to
Shout outs.
I know we're not talking about. I know we're not talking about the different ones that are on the deluxe extended version, but the one that he was dissing Poet directly, man. I mean, I think that one was probably a better diss record than The Bridge Is Over.
Wait, so explain the situation. He's dissing who now?
You haven't heard that one?
I don't even know what you're talking about. Yeah, Poet who? Poet from Queens?
Yes.
What, like later on down the line or in that era?
There's a different version of Still Number One where he is dissing Poet.
The beat's different too.
The beat's different, but he's dissing him directly.
Why are you talking about that? We're talking about this.
And he even says and then he goes through it again, like MC Shan is not down with us. Like everyone from Queens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember that. And that beat is better.
Yeah, so man. I encourage you, if you haven't heard that one, to go check it out. It's really dope.
Please do. That's the one I remember most. That one that just played, that one's dope. But the one that he's talking about is the joint.
Is it on the deluxe? Do you know if it's on the deluxe version?
Yeah.
We'll probably play it at some point tonight, maybe at the end of the game. Just again, a little history lesson for everybody, because I maybe might have heard it. It's one of those, like, if I hear it, I'll recognize it. But you speaking about it,
it's not ringing a bell now.
Of course, Homer's gonna remember the hate for Queens.
Oh, sensitive.
Oh my God.
Oh, sensitive.
Yo, to this day, I don't play The Bridge Is Over. I don't play in Queens.
What?
I play in Brooklyn. I'm not playing in Queens.
I play that song everywhere.
You could play that. You could play Takeover in Queens.
I feel a way playing it in Queens.
You can play Ether in Brooklyn. It's fine.
Triple C. It still feels that like that big of a record, right?
Yeah. I
mean,
feel it on the side. I feel like he punched me on the side.
With you still feeling so punched in the ribbed up. I mean, does that deter your vote? Does it make you want to choose I'm still number one, or are you still going with? So you're going number one.
Wow.
Wow.
It feels that way about it. Wow.
He's pulling the Glocks out on it right now.
Bitter C over here. Bitter C. Triple C with his
my
first.
handle say Trip from Queens.
Let it be known, Trip. Let it be known. Trip putting the first vote down for I'm still number one. It's a good song. I didn't know that was the reason he was going to pick it. But anybody else feel the same? Is anybody slighted by all the Queens hate that make them want to pick another song?
Well, if you played the other version, I would have been leaning towards that, but I can't go against The Bridge Is Over. It's pretty, it's just that type of record. It's undeniable. Like,
yo, think about his flow at that time on that record. His flow alone on that classic instrumental beat alone. It just when it came out, you know what I'm saying? I didn't live in New York at the time. I was living in Buffalo, but I was visiting New York at the time in the 80s, and it was just wild to see the reaction that song got when I got out there. And I just got to go with Bridge Is Over, man. And I mean, I lived in Queens for 17 years, man, and I feel bad for him, but we had to take that L.
It's a classic track. Like I said, if there was ever a song that I'm okay with sort of accepting defeat on, or having to sort of respectfully, like I see you kind of head nod, it's that song.
Gotta come back and retreat after it. That's all you could do.
That's all you can do. That's why Illmatic exists. That's why Illmatic exists.
To my knowledge, I believe Mr. Magic premiered this song.
No, I think it was Red Alert.
It was okay. So there was.
They didn't like Mr. Magic. Mr. Magic wouldn't play their record.
I know there was some beef. There was some situation with Magic and Red, because I believe they were cool at some point.
It's BLS versus Kiss.
Yeah.
BLS versus Kiss.
Yeah.
Gotta take a side.
Yeah, you gotta pick a side. And again, I'm saying Mr. Magic had the Juice Crew, and then you have Red Alert with what was the intro to Boogie Down Productions. He needed his little squad too. He had his own squad, but musically Boogie Down Productions stepped into the scene, and it's like an anthem for the Bronx, and it was an anthem.
It was,
and they started running with that at that point, and that's why he even appears on the record. Yeah,
I can't.
He was mopping floors, when he was making that record.
Shout out to Red Alert, man. He's a fucking.
I mean, KRS-ONE said he was mopping floors.
Oh, I mean, he was living in the shelter, if I'm not mistaken, at that point.
Yeah, he was mopping floors at a old folks' home in Brooklyn.
Be clear, KRS-ONE is from Brooklyn. For those that don't know,
right?
Born and raised in Brooklyn, and then moved to the Bronx at some point in time, and then started his career there. It's okay, he can claim the Bronx. It's fine.
Yeah.
He is from Brooklyn.
I can't believe that. I don't think Mr. Magic played that song because
he didn't. It was some trickery that went on. I forget what story it was. I might be getting them intertwined, but there was some fuckery going on where they tried to trick him into playing a KRS-ONE record or some shit. It almost happened.
If they had gotten to play that one, that would have been tough, because in that song they say his mouth is only good for steady sucking. Awesome. Just very hard.
That was where he hit him up at that time.
Yeah, very. I mean,
me?
I'm gonna.
Did you say about Shantae?
As much as I love Still Number One, I gotta go with Bridge Is Over on this, because it's such a banger, man, and just the reactions that people give you when you play that song. It doesn't really matter where you are, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, the setting does matter, but I mean, man, that song is such a banger, dude. It's such a banger, man. I gotta give it up to it. Got to. And I mean, was there a lot of violence based on that song?
Oh yeah,
probably.
People died over that song.
Oh no, not over the song.
No, not like that.
It was a celebration at the end of the day, because you gotta understand, like the Bronx at that point in time looked like a bomb went off in the Bronx.
Right.
It was just known for being like a shitty place to live, respectfully. Right. And then you got this.
I was trying to get to the point of like back in that time they had that beef, and I mean people didn't die over that beef, right?
Oh, that beef.
They were dying over other shit.
But I think
they were dying over other shit.
They were
dying over other shit, but they didn't die over that beef. The way the beef was with the whole Tupac and Biggie shit and all that other shit, that was looked at entirely different. Yeah, that was my point. I like,
I'm sure there's punches thrown.
Shout out to Black Moses. Shout out to Black Moses. He says they played that video at the time on Video Music Box. And I was like, he said he hated it, but he's right.
I was about to
say, it's true. They used to play the shit out of that video all the time. Years later.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say too, like this. You're talking between 86 and 88 in New York. During again the height of the crack era. So there was beef, and I'm sure there was probably like cats getting robbed and beat up and stuff. But like full crews and cliques to like how we look at beef today, it wasn't like that.
No, I don't think so.
I'm sure there's things that went down, but not how we look at hip hop beef today from that perspective.
But before I get yelled at by Jules, man, I'll put my vote down for South Bronx. I mean, the bridge is over. My bad.
I was about to say, like,
what?
My bad.
Not one of the songs.
Yeah, my bad. It's. I think this is like the first iconic hip hop song ever. You would kind of say like the first. No, well, maybe like the second or third, I guess. Iconic hip hop song. You play just the 4 or 5 seconds of that beat, and that's it. Everybody knows.
I would say iconic diss record.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say it's definitely just an iconic hip hop record, just in general.
Overall,
we talk about how you want to, if you put a song in a capsule of like what encapsulates hip hop. I feel like that song definitely
absolutely.
That would probably, if you ask me that question on the fly, to just name a song, that might be the first one I name.
Absolutely. Right. I agree. It's crazy because we're from Queens, but I definitely agree. Like, I think Bridge is Over, whether or not we gotta look at it, it's an all-time record. It represents New York.
Yeah.
It represents New York. And also kind of touching back to what Black Moses said, like the gunplay back then was like the drug dealers. It wasn't hip hop like that, So
I also feel like it was on record.
It was really the drug dealers, man. If to me it wasn't hip hop was still growing to what it is today. You know what I mean? Where I think hip hop now, the merging of the drug dealing world and all that stuff is intertwined now, but back then it wasn't really like that per se, man. And but anyway. I vote for Bridges Over also, man.
Your skin sort of making that sort of a definite statement. I mean,
this round is over.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
This round is over.
When we're wrapping up.
What about mom?
Sorry, Breeze. Again, we've been here before. You know what it is. But respectfully, everybody's got a chance to sort of get their vote off in every single other round. And you've been stepping up lately, sir. I see you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not being last all the time, but this time you came last again. Pause. Who do you got, sir?
Bridge is Over. Even though it pains me to pick it, but
I don't even want to write it
down. I never knew that it ran that deep for y'all, man. That
record was so big.
It's that dope of a record. It's that huge of a record that it still resonates with people till this day.
Yeah,
to this day.
For those that remember the Queens guys, that record was so big. Obviously, boom, it did what it did, and then it lasted what it lasted. But at that point in time, when hip hop just kept growing, KRS kept growing, artists out the Bronx kept growing, artists out of Brooklyn. Nobody from Queens had really stepped up to a level. I'm not saying we didn't have Queens artists, because we have nothing but Queens artists. Sure. To that level of sort of standing on Queens. Like, I'm going to represent this till Illmatic. I mean, you had your LLs, you had your Onyxes, you had all this stuff beforehand, but I'm just saying.
Run-DMC?
We did. And like I said, Run-DMC is from an era that changed the game completely. So, like, as much as we love Run DMC, they became everybody's favorite hip hop group. It wasn't just like white America embraced Run DMC at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? And it was Run DMC was, I heard Run DMC was bigger than like fucking the Beatles at that point in time. Like they were fucking huge.
They were. They were.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not like, oh, they're huge. Like it was like, no. There was no other kind of hip hop. If anybody, it was Rockstar. Like, what's rap? We play you something. It would probably be Run DMC. It's like the first. It was. They were the definition and the face of rap. Hip hop.
After Walk This Way, it was a rap, yo.
Yeah.
Out of here. You know what I'm saying? And again, and
the crazy thing is, I saw I guess Kenny Parker just came out with a book, and he was
I'm still reading it. What's
the name of it?
It might be My Brother's Name is Kenny. I don't know.
Yeah, my brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think that is.
In the interview, he was talking about Chris took a shot at Run DMC when he said, "I don't wear Adidas because my name's not Run."
Yeah.
Right.
He was coming for all of y'all in Queens, son. Yeah. All of y'all.
You see that's the pre.
You know what's funny though? You see that who first came up? 50 Cent did the same thing later on.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, there's no way that when Tupac heard Who Shot You for the first time with his peoples, somebody in there was like, yo, this shit is hard.
Had to have been like, yo, this shit.
Had to. Somebody was in there. They probably beat him up or something, but you know, somebody in the clique was like, yo, this nigga's dope. Like it's deeper than rap, man. Like Ross said.
Like that scene in Straight Outta Compton when they heard the Cube diss.
No Vaseline.
No Vaseline. They were listening to the Cube diss. And the people was laughing.
Yellow was like, that shit is hot.
Right.
Produced by the Bomb Squad.
Definitely one of the best diss records, I would say, in hip hop, man. One of the best. You good, son?
Now the thing is, Criminal Minded, the beat was so simple. It was like the beats are so simple, but it's dope.
All the beats are simple, but they're fucking great.
Yeah.
When we were talking about round number 4, we decided to put The Bridge Is Over versus I'm Still Number 1, 2 classic gems we all love. Well, again, it wasn't an entirely one-sided affair. It did lead to the overall result where The Bridge Is Over is the majority winner, putting Criminal Minded up on the board again, leaving the game officially tied up at round number 4. Luckily, we got 5 rounds, fellas. We about to break this tie right now because it's officially tied up